Hey, this is Tracy Lewis from Stuffin' Things. It is Paper Pumpkin Day. This is the first of the two Christmas theme ones. This one makes cards. And I'm filming at the very end of our journey because I want to show you guys what it looks like heading to our camp spot at the Thousand Trails here in Mount Vernon. And this is really pretty with all of the leaves, and the trees still have quite a few leaves on them. And the paper pumpkin for this month is Winter Woods. How appropriate. It's a very rainy day here. In fact, it's been raining all week and is going to rain through Tuesday. Can't wait. Thank goodness I have my paper pumpkin to entertain me. So stay tuned for more paper pumpkin fun. All right, I have made it home. It is pouring down rain still, as it has been doing, like I said, all week. So I'm very glad to have a paper pumpkin to keep me busy. So this is the first of the two coordinating sets. This one makes cards, I believe, and the second one will make tags. And this is the notification of part 2, which will make 24 over-the-top tags in 4 designs. Our spot is Night of Navy. We have Season's Greetings, Winter Wishes, Snowflake, a Cardinal, Falling Snow, and Wishing You a Merry Christmas and a Very Happy New Year. I have moved my camera stand to a different location this time, so we'll see if I get less shaking. It looks like seven cards. I'm counting 7. We'll see if that's how many is inside, with foil envelopes. I'm not sure. I might make one, and we'll see. I always say that, and then I make some sort of change my mind. We do that a lot. So we do have little sequin snowflakes. I see some die-cut birch trees, red cardinals. Let's see what's in here. Dimensionals, mini dimensionals, die-cut cardinals. The trees are on shimmer white, wood grain labels, 2 sheets of them. So it's 10 cards, even though it only showed a picture of 7. So we've got envelopes, very pretty, with foil and wood grain. And I believe these are all the same. Oh, and then there's some silver foil fishtail labels. And 10 card bases. So I will cut out pieces, get set up. I will make one per the instructions, and then we'll move on to alternatives. And let's see, coordinating colors: Early Espresso, Night of Navy, Pool Party, Poppy Parade, and Shaded Spruce. So I will be back soon. All right, I have decided to do this a little differently. I'm going to do segments because there are so many ways to go with this particular paper pumpkin kit that I am going to share with you all of the different pieces from both the annual catalog and the holiday catalog that I think could coordinate and stretch this kit to make at least 20 cards. Now, first off, I just have on display what the main pieces are that come with the kit and what they look like. And then of course there's this envelope that does have wood grain all the way to the bottom, so you could cut this beautiful envelope, but I would want to use it to give. I wouldn't want to cut it out to use the wood. So I found 2 different wood pieces in the DSPs. So the wood from Pressed Petals from the annual catalog, I believe is what this is called, and it's the one that has the photography. You actually get 4 sheets of this wood grain, 4 sheets of each in 12 by 12. So that's one option for extending your wood. The other option for wood is in the holiday catalog. I have some things marked of interest. And it is in the, it's a lighter wood right here that's in the Come Together DSP on page 48. So that takes care of wood accents. By taking off the shimmer white, you can do all sorts of stamping on this, not use the whisper white, or shimmery white, sorry, and end up with 20 cards. On top of that, I think what is good to use on the Christmas tree, or just the trees, snowy trees, for example, and like I said, I haven't put any alternatives together because there's just so many. I want to be able to mix and match all the pieces. So adding the snowman from Snowman season, this is what the set looks like. You actually have 3 different snowmen you could work with, and I could see using an oval with one of the more elaborate snowmen, probably a smaller oval than this one from the layering, and make it off to the side. We'll even put him on there. Pretend he's on a smaller piece. I should have cut a smaller piece. And then you could still have your season's greetings up above, and then add your embellishments that coordinate. So any number of things. Now, then there's Snowfront, which would be perfect for taking the pieces and adding them stamped directly as a scene. I'm looking for it now. And I will come right back. It is hiding, so I will just go find it. I have the feeling with so many pieces I want to share with you to give you ideas of where you can go depending on what you've bought and not bought. There will be a lot of stopping and starting. So, Snowfront has so many little bits and pieces. The little snowman could be added. You could add the house and the deer. Those are the 3 main pieces. The little tiny birds you could certainly add, or you could just take one of the red birds after you're done with your scene and put one of the red birds popped up anywhere on the big trees. From there, you can always cut out the trees. You can take the cutouts. You could, if you had still scenes, which I do, you could make a snow globe card. You could take 2 of the domes and use the snowflake sequins that I bought multiple packs of, because I am going to do shaker cards, and you could double the globes and make ornaments. You could experiment with other critters being stamped in the front. There's Rustic Retreat, which has a lot of scenes and different animals that you could explore stamping on, or doing die cuts. These are cutouts, so you could add them to whatever little scenes you would want to create. There's, of course, Merry Moose that could be used on here. little bits of red. You could do the moose in crumb cake or a brown if you had the punch. I'm sorry, I want to get my bird back out. These little birds I have find are easy to get lost. Okay. In still scenes, going back to still scenes, and I'm still on this particular piece, there's this house. So you could explore this house and being integrated in some way as a pop-up with a smaller circle than this large circle. I did all of my stamping in either black or the navy blue, which the navy blue is what comes with the kit. This is the house from Rustic Retreat. So I find that the nested labels is a really good shape. The shapes I thought for the die cuts where you have scenes, here's my 3 scenes, let me get them showing, would be round, oval, and the label nested labels. I think those are the best shapes that would work well with this particular scene in the back with the trees. You could consider doing die cut scenes. I have the church die cut, and that could be on something maybe with a small circle. So there's all sorts of things that you can do with the trees. So I am going to move on now to, and that would be 10 cards when you're all done and you've used this card base for 10 different cards, given all the different things that I've mentioned as ways to use just this piece and not use the shimmer. So now if we then switch gears to the shimmer, the first thing I noticed is that the way it's cut out, I'm going to bring this over now, there's this expanse of white in the middle. You get 10 of those. So because you have 10 of those, you could in theory also extend even further to say around 30 cards if you took and made cards with the woodland embossing folder, implementing a lot of different die cuts, which I will show you how I did the die cuts on the shimmer paper and what they look like. So this was with the stars on shimmer, and so you could make a really pretty scene with the stars. And let's get my wood and the season's greetings. If you still wanted animals, still scenes, which is the globe, has a really pretty deer that you could easily add below the stars. And this, at this point, it becomes the mix and match game of deciding if you want 20 cards, then you can take the shimmer white and the middles of the shimmer white. Take all of those middles. Here's the ones I have left. I have a big stack of the shimmer whites. See, you can see the shimmer. And these you could either use to make 10 more cards, or you could integrate them on the shimmer white trees, which is what I kind of have in mind for myself. And I took, there's a really good Stampin' Die set, Winter Woods, that I think has a lot of elements that you could experiment with. It has the three birch trees that you could use either in Night of Navy. You could do a dark gray stamping on white. You could put in the background on white this, I call them the spooky trees, but they're just the winter trees without any leaves on them. There's this evergreen tree that you could do a more traditional green tree stamped in the background. I have stamped a bunch of different items. I have saved the cutouts. So this is the width of the Whisper or Shimmer White that you get. And here's the tree that comes with Winter Woods. And it has the leaves that you pop up to give it a 3D effect. You can, if you want to get really elaborate, which I love to make elaborate Christmas cards. So if you have the deer and you have the stars and you put this on the front and you have the season's greetings on the top. The last thing that, for me, making this card that I would want to do would be to integrate their winter, this is from the holiday catalog, it's a chunky white glitter that makes it look like snow, and then there's a crystal effects, which is a glue that has these little iridescent bits in it. And I made up some samples for you guys to see that if you wanted to add on these little tree bits that I folded up, you could either just do this glossy effect that has a little bit of glimmer to it. You could then also add the snow effect. And then the other thing that's interesting with the snowbanks, Winter Woods comes with a snowbank die. And that snowbank die, you can add, say, 2 layers behind. If I wanted to, I would add the snow to the front piece, and then I would also stack up behind making them offset like so, and then you would have a really nice 3D. I would even do dimensionals and try to stack this up tall and make it a really tall card, a deep card with lots of elements. Now, if you do not have Winter Woods, I have in the past, before I even had anything like this particular Snowbank die, I just would tear. You can just tear your paper and add the snowy effect, and it'll do the exact same thing. And it looks just as good, in my opinion. These stars also include some cutout stars, so you can add stars. I just can see so many different ways to decorate this particular layout. I want to show you, you get 2 bare trees, and I went ahead and cut them. Here's what they look like. And the cutout from that, to be the most efficient, I was able to cut those with 1 piece of the shimmer white middle section. So if we get rid of our stars, you can easily add 1 spooky tree. You could add 2 spooky trees, get some depth going. You could add, here's this moose that I cut out with his red scarf, and a bird. You could even add the bird to that layer there. And here's a season's greetings. Now, any number of the Christmas sentiments will work, and label dies for the different sentiments that you could add, and you could add the sentiment on the bottom or the top. And so that's one way to go. In the still scenes I showed you before the church, so let's put the church on here with the trees, and the church in the background makes a beautiful scene. I have the Rustic Retreat. So if we take this one away, and you want to have some more symbolic type effect, you could put this guy up above and still have your sentiment up high or below. You could even do it without the trees, which is what I first envisioned when I was looking at this, is making making a simpler card with this offset with some birds. I wish the birds would face both ways. You could easily turn him and color him red so he faces toward the house. The moose has a very cute little raccoon that I cut out, so I wanted to see if he is in the very front. You've got some depth that you're working with. And of course there's snowflakes that come in the kit that you could apply. You could then extend these by using the snowflake sequins that you can get that have a little more color and some different shapes. You have stars, snowflakes, and round sequins option in here. There is also white and silver sequins in the metallic sequin set. Those are 3 different sizes of white, 3 different sizes of silver, and you're certainly welcome to use the black and copper in here as well. That would go really well with this. I then cut, for more embellishments, I have 4 different trims that I think would go really well. The seaside spray is just really pretty and goes well with the Night of Navy accent. Even on this tree card, the Night of Navy, this seaside spray goes beautifully with it. And a little bow. I even think if you're doing a really busy card, even a simple knot up in the corner, perhaps offsetting this white with the silver is beautiful with the silver foil accents of this kit. So you could easily just add this knot anywhere. This becomes a pretty large bow, I will say. And so it's possible that you'll just want to stick with a small knot. The polka dot is white and would go very nice on the side, on the corner, just somewhere to add a little more, kind of more depth, more interest to your card. And then there's the flax, that if I were to do something with the flax, I would either make a knot out of it or perhaps just add it to the bottom, maybe smaller than this, underneath an animal or a house or some fun thing as an extra layer. The church takes up 2 pieces and leaves you an extra bit left over. I even was curious how it would look if you have what's called free skate. I bought it because I loved the sentiments, and I actually love to color ice skates and have in the past. It would be really fun to do if you had somebody that was into skating or even would appreciate it. This is just showing like a really large image die cut. You could color it with blends or leave them white. I love the deer from Nature's Beauty. I think all 3 of the Nature's Beauty animals would go really well. There's the fox. There's a bunny buried on my desk somewhere. Here's the bunny. And so all of these, size-wise, are perfect for the shimmer white birch. I know that I used navy because it fits with the colors that are used, but I want to show. I actually cut this out in 3 colors. Making an all-white card is something I have done in years past, and you could very easily do the buildup of snow like I showed with the different effects. You can add, a trim piece. You can add any of the trees, and then end up with a beautiful nested shadow box level scene with multiple layers added to it. There are these bears. They're pretty small. They go with the globe, the still scenes. I didn't cut these out. Size-wise, I think they would be more difficult to work, but if you were doing a silhouette, you could certainly add them and they would look something like so. But they're mostly hibernating, so I don't know if I would be so into doing the bears necessarily, but they are there as an option. This is a set of trees from Still Scenes that you could very easily put in behind and even have, say, the deer with the sentiment. So you can mix and match just so many different things. I've discussed the different die cuts. The embossing folder I'm using is called Woodland, and what's interesting about Woodland is that it is in the catalog, the annual catalog, and I do not find it on the website at all right now. It has a SKU number, and I'm going to figure out what's going on with it. It's the weekend right now, but I'm going to call support tomorrow and figure out what is going on with the Woodland. I know that the one that I have is made by Sizzix, and Stampin' Up is no longer using Sizzix. And here is the ID number. It is, or the part number, 139673, and it is still a current active product. And again, on my website, I will have an article that will list all of these products. This is going to be a pretty huge product list, and I'm going to have it all. So you guys can go shopping there if you want, and I will figure out and will post an update on what's happening with Woodland. My suspicion is that they ran out of the Sizzix ones. They've got the new manufacturer and they haven't got them in, but it's not on the inventory report, so I'm not sure, and I might have missed some kind of a notification, and I will let you guys know. The next segment of this will be actual alternatives that I've made, and may include more than what I've shown you. This is just what I have started with, and I totally feel that this could be an easy 20+ card kit that I would be able to use all of these pieces and make all these layers, and would be very proud to send these to my friends and family who are used to getting from me very elaborate cards. And I'm really excited that this type of set makes it really easy to add additional products and supplies to make a really fancy looking card. And I didn't even go into, adding the colors. I pretty much went with white, the navy blue background, and then I didn't even show you, I did it on gray as well. And so you could probably even do a really pretty seaside spray or a light blue background, balmy blue perhaps, if you really wanted it to be a daytime card versus a nighttime card versus an all white card. So that's all I've got for the moment, and I'm going to continue on with my playing, and we'll at least get this cut and released so that people can start thinking about what products they either have or want to buy. And I have the catalog. Let me make sure I didn't miss any items in the catalog that I had marked. I do think that this kit here, the product medley Most Wonderful Time, has these Christmas boxes. It has the die cuts for the Christmas boxes, Christmas gifts, and it also has a really good tree. It comes with cutout deer that look to me visually like size-wise it would be a good match. That also brings up that this deer is very faintly colored with some gray. And in all of these that I'm showing you, you could easily just do some light gray shadowing on, say, the Snowman to get some depth. And same with these different deer. The ones that have the black lines are definitely going to be easy to color, and you could do the fox. You can do these all in browns to add just like a pop of color, and then still have your birds in red. Don't forget the scarf on the moose that you can color any color you want. I used real red, and I know that the birds are Poppy Parade, so you could use Poppy Parade as well. I think that's all I've got for now. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for segment 2 where I start putting some of these together. Thanks for watching.